Hey guys, 7up07 here. Welcome to another episode of The Game Hunter. Unfortunately, for probably the third episode in a row, nothing went well as far as recording videos go. I got a new pair of spyglasses. I'd lost the old pair, as you know from watching the older episodes. I forget which episode it was that I lost them. Got a new pair, and they just will not work. They were a slightly different kind, same brand but different model. Supposedly better, but they don't work, and I can't seem to troubleshoot the issue. They just don't record video. So I went to the flea market. I went up there with my mom while she was here visiting just last week, and we got a bunch of stuff at the flea market. We had brought the spyglasses. I tried to take video on the spyglasses. It was pretty apparent that it was not working, so I even had my mom sit there with her phone and get some video here and there, and then somehow all of that ended up getting wiped off of her phone. She lost a bunch of different stuff, and those had just barely come in where her cloud storage was full, and they didn't get saved on the cloud. So all of that is gone. Everything is always just a nightmare when it comes to these footage things. Hopefully, this will be the last episode that any of that kind of stuff will happen in, and we won't have to worry about it in the future. I'm sorry for these videos not being what they're supposed to be lately, but it's just been a nightmare to try to figure this out. So the next video I will not release until it has footage to go with it, because I'm tired of having to deal with this. I'm going to make sure everything is good to go before I go out hunting next time, and I will have the opportunity to do that. So without further ado, let's get into these finds. Got a little bag of stuff here. Nothing crazy from the flea market that day. It was not the best flea market day. We've definitely had better luck up there. Went to the same flea market as usual, and we just kept striking out the whole beginning. You know, it's kind of set up in rows of vendors. The whole first row and probably the whole back side of the flea market, there were absolutely zero finds. Usually we at least find a thing here and there, but compared to the last trip me and Nisha went up there, this trip was abysmal. Luckily, towards the end of the day, we did start finding some little things, but there was no big find there at the flea market, so I'll just jump into it. First off, found a Nintendo Wii there. This one is bundled with the power cord, and for some reason a MacBook charger. I'm not sure why they thought that went with it, but it's missing the door on the top for the GameCube controllers, but overall it's not in terrible condition, and it was really cheap. I want to say $7. So, worthwhile pickup there. Got quite a few random games. There's still some movies in here. These were a couple of the better ones I did find. Ended up talking him down to $5 each for these. He wanted a little bit more. Way of the Samurai. That one's complete. As well as Samurai Champloo Sidetracked. This is supposed to be a pretty good game, and both those are, they're not valuable, but they're not cheap games either, so it was kind of nice to find those for $5. Those ended up being a couple of the better ones that I did find. Got a couple of random original Xbox games, still trying to build up that collection. These were, I believe, $1 a piece, if I remember correctly. Ghost Recon 2 Summit Strike. Whoa! Oh, that's right. This actually had 2 copies of the game inside, so one of them just went flying across the room. Forgot about that. And then MTV Music Generator 3. So, a couple of, that's, you know, a whatever kind of thing, just to fill in the collection, but getting closer and closer by the day to a complete original Xbox exclusive collection. Also grabbed CSI. This one's slightly different than the PS2 version, so it's considered to be an Xbox console exclusive. And that was, I believe, $1 as well. Picked up Boom Blocks. This was in a group of a bunch of other games that I have in here somewhere. Ended up getting a pretty fair price on them. Had a bunch of gaming stuff. Asked the guy how much he wanted for everything. He told me much higher price than I wanted to pay. And then a couple of the things I had were just some old PS2 memory cards. Turns out he seemed to think those were worth like $5 each or $8 each or something ridiculous. So ended up saying how much without these, and the price shot way down, so I ended up buying them just the games and stuff without that. It was much more worth it, for sure. These were actually, I bought one for $2 and got the other one free, so don't judge me too much on the free game. One I bought was Intellivision Lives, just a remake for PS2 of some old Intellivision games, and got this thrown in for free, CMT Presents Karaoke Revolution Country. So, just a shovelware game to throw into the PS2 collection that is massively large already, but working towards possibly one day a complete collection, but that's a very tall order to fill. So this was actually a guy, if you remember from our last flea market video, he does always this like kind of bundle, buy one get one, buy two get one. He had all the loose discs for like $1 each. So he always has a really good deal. I always go back to him. He had much less games this time, but still some really good deals. And he actually ended up throwing this in for another $2, even though he originally wanted $5 for it, which is Hamtaro Ham Hams Unite for the Game Boy Color. Don't ever get a whole lot of Game Boy Color games, so I figured I'd go ahead and pick that up for $2. Got this for, I want to say $1. 007 Tomorrow Never Dies. It is the Greatest Hits edition, but that's alright. Still worth $1 for sure. And, oh, got these. I forget how much these were. World Series of Poker 2008. And Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy. This one did not come with the manual, but I do have a spare manual already, which I'm going to throw in here right after this. The case is a little ripped up and stuff, but the artwork is fine. And I've been trying to find this game cheap for a while. I want to say this was also $1. Most of the games I got were $1, which was really awesome to find. Kind of got a laugh out of the people when I bought these. These were, I think these were also $1 a piece, or possibly less. I might have paid $2 for all three. Bob the Builder, Can We Fix It? For the PS1. Jeopardy! 2nd Edition for PS1. And Mary-Kate and Ashley, Sweet 16. Nice and complete. That's a minty fresh game right there. Because real games for real girls. So I had to pick that one up. Let's see, found this little cool thing, little Super Mario, I guess this is for like a DS Lite or something. That should be what fits in there. Just a little case with Super Mario, Mario and Luigi on the outside. That one was fairly cheap, like $1 or $2. Found this there, which is not something you ever find. Dragon's Lair for the 3DO. It's in a different case. I believe this is for like a PC game or something that's in the case for it. But Dragon's Lair for 3DO, I've never found a 3DO game in the wild before, so that was kind of exciting, and it's a good one at that. At least a decent one. It's kind of a ridiculous game, but it's one that I would want to buy. So was happy to see that. The guy did end up knowing kind of what he had, but I kind of talked him down on it. And I bought this along with it, so it ended up being, I want to say $6 for the both, which is not that bad. It's more than I would have hoped to pay for a loose game that, like, I was kind of hoping he just thought it was like a random CD or whatever, but because he had a bunch of like random garbage, but it turns out he did know what he had, so he still parted with it for a fairly cheap price. WWFE? Is this F? WWF SmackDown Just Bring It. Complete. Adding to the Wrestling PS2 collection, which is getting quite large at this point. Guy had a bunch of DVDs and a few games for 50 cents a piece, so I went ahead and picked them up. This one came in just a generic case with no artwork or anything, but it's Nancy Drew, The Mystery of the Clue Bender Society. That's one that we love, those little mystery games, so I figured that would be worth picking up for 50 cents. And also Aragon. I had to piece this one together. He had all the parts to make it complete, kind of spread around, so he let me go ahead and piece this together and got this for 50 cents. Finally, I went to one of the kind of reseller booths that have a lot of popular games, and they only sell video games, so they know what they're doing. You've probably, if you've been to a flea market, you've seen that kind of booth there with the video game resellers. And so I got a couple of different things there. For one, he had a nice price on this one. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, the second Cataclysm for Sega CD. You may remember on a recent gaming purchases video a while back, I had bought a lot of Sega CD games on eBay, and this, as well as one other game, did not work. The scratches were so deep in them. I ended up getting a really nice refund from the seller in order to rebuy the discs that did not work, just like a disc-only kind of auction and stuff, and I never got around to doing it. I was planning on doing it, but this is a really nice looking copy of this that I ended up getting for like $4 or $5 from this guy, so really nice. Came in a Car and Driver Presents Grand Tour Racing 98, just the back cover, but I did get a free PlayStation case out of it as well. Also got this from them. I think I ended up paying $15 for the both. This is an RPG for PS1 that's not uber popular, but I've heard it's quite good actually. So I had been kind of looking to casually pick it up if I ever came across it, and he had it for a fairly good price. Basically, I think he had $15 on this, which is about the going price, and it ended up that he kind of just threw this Cadillacs and Dinosaurs in for free with it. So this is Grand Stream Saga. If you've never heard of this game, go look it up. It's supposed to be quite good and decent PS1 RPG that is lesser known. So unfortunately, that is it. This is one of the lesser stacks of games that we've gotten from a big game hunting trip out to the flea market, but it still turned out okay. A couple nice finds, enough to make it worth the drive up there, and of course we always have a good time up there, but it just wasn't the best day for it for whatever reason. So again, I am going to make sure that there is some sort of footage for the next episodes of Game Hunter so that we don't have to deal with this. This is basically just a recent gaming purchases with a different title on it at this point. So I'm going to make sure that the Game Hunter series continues the way it's supposed to in the next videos. But please still continue to show your support, like the video, subscribe, and look out for some better Game Hunter videos coming up soon. Thank you guys for watching.